Welcome to the Mobilant channel with Dr. Road. I'm Dr. Road Wang from the Mobilant channel. Today, we will learn about disassembling the Bafang Ultramotor, a mid-drive motor for electric bicycles, and the basic maintenance methods for disassembling and understanding the structure of mid-drive motors. First, please loosen and separate the crank arm fixing bolts. To separate the ISIS bottom bracket axle from the crank arm, you will need a crank arm remover adapter with a wide front. Insert the crank arm remover by hand until it is fully inserted. Next, tighten the bolt on the head side to allow separation of the crank arm. Next, tighten the bolt on the head side to allow separation of the crank arm. To make it easier to use the lock ring on the inside, you can step on the wrench head with your foot and bend it a bit. The chainring has been detached. Now loosen the 3 plastic cover bolts on the left side of the motor. Disconnect all the connectors. To detach the EB bus connector, you need to press the retaining clip. Now let's start by loosening the motor frame mount nut for motor separation. Next, tap the bolt gently with a rubber mallet to easily separate it. The motor has been separated. Here's how to replace the torque sensor axle. First, loosen the controller cover bolts. When opening the motor cover, it is recommended to have a spare gasket as it is prone to damage. Disconnect the phase connector blue, yellow, green. Disconnect the pedal assist sensor connector and temperature sensor connector to separate the controller. The gears can be easily separated by pulling them.
Clutch bearing, 1A.
The center gear is the clutch bearing. If you feel that the power transmission of the motor is not working and it slips, we recommend replacing it. To replace the torque sensor axle, detach the snap ring. Since there is a ratchet pawl, you need to hold the large gear with your hand and turn it while pulling to separate or install it. This is the ratchet. Remember the installation direction. Remove the 3 cover screws. If you look at it from the side, there are 3 holes. Insert the bolt and turn it to tighten it, and the cover will lift up for separation. Flip the motor upside down to detach the snap ring that secures the axle. The torque sensor axle has been disassembled. When installing a new torque sensor axle, you need to use a rubber mallet to facilitate installation. Reinstall the detached snap ring and fix the axle cover with bolts. First, check the direction of the ratchet pawl. It is easy to come off during installation, so remember the order of the washers. Turn it a little while pushing it in. Reinstall the detached snap ring. Reinstall the detached gears. Motor core disassembly. The motor core cover bolts have been loosened in advance. Use a stainless steel scraper to create a small gap. prepare to separate the rotor from the opposite side. You need to push it from the opposite position here. Push it out from here. By applying pressure with a plastic or wooden rod, the rotor can be easily separated. To separate the coil stitter, heat the motor cover with a heat gun to expand it to about 60 degrees Celsius. Since the separation process is difficult, it is good to know the method for future reference. When the temperature sensor or coil is burned out, it needs to be disassembled or replaced. When reinstalling the rotor, it will be strongly attracted due to the magnets. Be sure to wear gloves and insert it. Close the cover and secure it again. Grease replenishment. Motors that use only metal gears tend to produce more noise. If you replenish grease generously, it will have a slight noise reduction effect. I applied more Mobile 28 grease and spread it evenly. Excessive use of grease with low viscosity can cause the grease to flow into the controller board, resulting in controller failure. For other motors with nylon gears or plastic components, it is recommended to use plastic or silicone grease. When replacing the controller, be careful not to lose the metal ring. If it is a new controller, apply some grease here to prevent water from seeping in. Also, align the washers that are easily lost, as mentioned earlier. Reinstall the controller connector. Temperature sensor connector, pedal assist connector. Cover the motor with a waterproof gasket. Tighten the cover bolts gradually to about 4 Newton meters. The controller replacement is now complete. Reasons for motor calibration. If you have replaced the controller, motor calibration is required. There are 2 types of controllers, UART and CAN, and the bus cable use differs in shape. First, let's learn about UART controller calibration. Disconnect the existing monitor connector. Connect the dedicated firmware enabled C961 monitor. Connect the battery pack to the motor. Don't be surprised if there is a spark at the connector. Press the power button to turn on the monitor. Now, press and hold the power button and minus button together for a long time. If the display appears on the monitor as shown in the video, press the plus button and minus button together again. This will return you to the initial screen. Once again, press and hold the power button and minus button for a long time. Now, motor position calibration will begin. In most cases, during the first attempt, you will see error codes such as error 40, 41, 43, 95, 96, 97, 98. Currently, ER 95 is displayed. Press and hold the power button and minus button for a long time to return to the initial screen. Disconnect the battery connector. Reconnect the battery, turn on the power, and repeat the process. When the ER 44 display appears, calibration is successful. Press the power button and minus button together to return to the main menu. Test it with the throttle, and it should work perfectly. Now, switch back to the original monitor and perform a throttle test.
완벽하게 동작합니다.
It works perfectly. Now, you can reinstall the motor onto the frame. CAN and BESST program. Now, let's learn about the CAN-type motor controller. UART-type controllers allow various programming devices to be used. You can connect a USB device and use a smartphone or laptop to adjust output, pedal power, and timing for detailed settings. For CAN-type controllers, the monitor connector shape is not round but has a special shape. You need to use the BESST device connected to a PC to use it. To use the official BESST software, you need to apply for an account and get authorization from the Bafang website. Motor settings and output changes are limited depending on the account's authorization level. Before purchasing this device, make sure to inquire about the account with the seller. This device may be necessary when replacing motor controllers, including Bafang Ultra M620 G510 motors, as well as M600 and M500 series motors that do not use Hall sensors. For motors using more sophisticated torque pedaling sensors, torque sensor position calibration may also be required. If the Bafang Ultra Mid-Drive Motor Guide video was helpful, please subscribe and click the like button. You can also find the Electric Bicycle Master Book series on Amazon. This was Dr. Road from Mobilant. Thank you for watching.